Hi, Guy Cochran here to bring you another session of the DVeStore Theatre. In this one we're going to do a little tutorial on how to use the Sennheiser Wireless G2 Evolution series. There's been some discussions on the boards, how do you set the AF out, how do you adjust these levels I'm getting over modulation. We're going to take a look at a few of the things that you could change to make your sound even better. Now this first piece that we're looking at is the receiver. Now you could tell that this one's the receiver because on the top it'll say AF out. Now if you open up the door inside, you will see a couple buttons. One says on and off. We'll go ahead and hit the on off button. The other one that you see here is called set, and then you also have two up and down arrows. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and reset this unit. So we're going to press set. We're going to use the up and down arrows to scroll up to reset. We'll say set again. It says no. We are going to scroll up to OK. Hit set again. So now we've just reset the unit and it is back to its factory defaults. Now when you first fire up this guy, I want you to have the transmitter off. So keep the transmitter off. If your transmitter is on, go ahead and turn it off right now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to press set and we're going to scroll down to scan. We're going to scan for available frequencies. So we'll go ahead and say set. It'll say start and we'll press set again and it scans for open frequencies. It found 4 channels free. We'll go ahead and press set again and now they're stored. To get out of any menu, you can also just press the on-off button. That's like escape. So the on-off button here will jump you right back to the main menu. We're going to scroll over to AF out, which is here. We'll go ahead and say set. And right now it is way hot. As its default, it's way too hot. So we're going to go ahead and take it down. And we'll first try it at about -18. All video cameras are going to be a little bit different, but we'll go ahead and set this one for -18. It's stored. We'll go ahead and press the on off and we're done setting up the receiver. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the transmitter. So now we're looking at the transmitter. You can tell which one's the transmitter because it says on the back transmitter, and it also has the handy little clip. Now we'll go ahead and turn this guy on because remember we had it off. You're actually seeing the VU meters kick in right now. Let's go ahead and reset this guy. We're going to say set. We're going to scroll up to reset. We'll say set, reset, OK. It resets itself. So it defaults to 518, 150 megahertz. All right, now we're going to go ahead and adjust our levels. So we're going to scroll down to sensitivity. Now for most people, between -10 and -20 is going to be pretty good. What'll happen is if you adjust this sensitivity and you have it up too high, what'll happen when somebody starts getting really loud is it will peak and you will clip and you'll have bad audio. So what we want to do is we want to bring this guy down while we have it on somebody's chest. So right now I want you to visualize having the microphone placed about halfway down the chest, right where the sternum is, the breastplate. Don't put it up on the collar. All right, so we're going to adjust this down to about -20 dB is good for people. For most interviews, -20 dB is going to be about right. Your mileage may vary depending on how loud the speaker actually gets. We'll go ahead and say stored, and now our sensitivity is set, and we can press the on-off button, and we're back at 518, 150. Actually, we're looking like we're a little bit low. Check 1, check 2. Yeah, for me, we might actually want to go back into sensitivity, say -20, and let's bring it up to -10, because you want to ride those levels. Let's go ahead and escape out of here. You want to ride those levels so that you're getting the numbers to be about halfway. So that's looking pretty good right there. Now, the other thing that you might want to do is tune. Maybe somebody is also on this frequency and you want to retune. So what you can do now is you can go to set and let's go ahead and go to bank. Now you have 8 banks and 1 user definable bank. Basically what these are groups of channels. So you have 8 groups of channels. So you can see that if we go to bank 1 and we go over to channel, that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 channels for this bank. So this is bank 1 and it has 4 channels in it. So these are the 4. So let's say we want to go to 529.50. We'll go ahead and say set, and now it's stored, and we can get out of here. 529.50. Now we'll jump back over to the receiver and we'll set it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump onto bank 1. So we're going to hit set, jump over to bank. We're going to go to bank 1, set. Then we're going to go over to channel 1, and it was 529.50, set, and you see the little RF light up. Now on the receiver unit, you might also want to adjust your squelch. The squelch should always be at low unless you are getting a ton of wireless interference. Say, for example, you're at a trade show, you might want to bring this up to something a little bit more like mid or high, but you're going to decrease your range. So we'll bring that back down to low. Another interesting feature is pilot tone. With these units, you always want to leave the pilot tone on. Basically what the pilot tone does is it looks for the transmitter, and if it doesn't hear its pilot tone, and it's this super high frequency that not even dogs can hear, if it doesn't hear that pilot tone, what it'll do is it'll automatically mute the unit. You can also name each unit. Maybe you have different talent and you want to name each one. This one's called the EK100. You could change this name to whatever you want. So the last thing that we want to set is the levels on our camera. So we're going to first set the record level to manual. Then what we want to do is we want to take this guy down to about 30%. Now if you notice that the levels are way too hot on your camera's VU meters, go into the AF out on your receiver and bring the levels down to something like -30. So right now I have it at -30, and this seems to be a good match. Another trick that I like to do is I like to change the balance. I like to bring the balance a little bit down, so what you have is one side a little bit lower than the other. So this way, if somebody ever does clip, if they go really high, you still have some level to play with. Hi, and thanks for tuning into this tutorial on the Sennheiser Evolution G2 wireless series. If you haven't picked one of these up, there's nothing out on the market that is under $1,000 that sounds as good or is as reliable as these new units. Here we have one mounted onto the Canon XL1S via the hot shoe. You can see that it's highly portable. It's very small compared to the camera. It's lightweight. I've been using one for the last couple months, and the unit is awesome. Hasn't failed me at all. Thing is just working great. I even took it to NAB. All those interviews that you hear from NAB are all using this wireless unit or the wireless handheld with the NG kit. So the standard kit contains just the transmitter and the receiver, and then if you add the ENG kit, you get the plug-on transmitter as well. You can do so by clicking that little Buy Now button down below, and hopefully you guys pick one up if you don't already own one, and you'll enjoy it as much as I do.